Hello everyone, I hope you're well. So if all you had in your hands was a magazine, could you defend yourself? In this clip, Christian looks at using improvised weapons such as torches, rolled up magazine, pool cue, whatever you might have to hand. He mentioned some of the legal implications, but most importantly I think he goes through a very simple 5-movement flowing striking drill which helps you to develop a relaxed and reliable striking system so that you don't just panic and just try and hit with your dominant hand over and over again. Hopefully this will help you to develop a fluid motion and allow you to react more intuitively to what's coming at you. If any of you guys have got experience of using improvised weapons in real situations, I'd be very interested to hear about it in the comments. And of course, if you like what we're doing, please support the channel, subscribe, click all that stuff below, and thank you for watching.
All right, so I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a judge, and I'm not a policeman, but a rough summary of New Zealand law is anything that's carried as a weapon is a weapon. Okay, so if you go out at night time with a torch for the purposes of using it as a weapon, that's a weapon, okay, and you can get charges against you for carrying a torch around with you. In the middle of the day, if you're walking around with a torch, it's very hard to justify that you can't see, okay, when the sun's out and it's a nice warm day. And as such, you should be, you might be stopped and they might say, hey, why are you walking around with a 6D mag light on a sunny day on the beach? What you can carry around with you is a magazine, okay? And a magazine, and this one is the October 2018 City Walker magazine, which I happen to find at home. A magazine can be rolled up, and when you roll up a magazine, it starts looking a little bit like a sticky thing, okay? And you can kind of casually carry a magazine around with you, and it kind of starts doing similar things to the sticks that we've just been playing with at the last session, or the things that we've been dealing with before. In this situation in here, obviously my magazine is slightly shorter, my hand is still here, he's still doing it here, I'm just being casual in here. Well, here's my number 5. Okay, we'll go through each of the numbers. Here's my number 5 right here. Stick into the space here. Here's my number 5, there's a thrust here. Here's my number 1. Okay, number 1 goes to number 2, goes to number 3, okay, goes to number 4. They're all available to me, and getting hit by this, I won't hit you too hard. Okay, you can see that's already unpleasant. A little bit harder? Yep. All right, still pretty unpleasant. Okay, it also slightly increases the range that's available. And we can also do this really cool thing right here, which starts making it a little bit nastier in the soft spots as well. Okay, so we're going to get to that stage. Before we do that, we're going to learn the 5 strikes that we're going to play with to start with. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so let's go through that. So setting up yourself, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Okay, so your number 1 target, okay, you're either going to the side of the head or you're going for the collarbone. Okay, so, yeah, just give it a little bit of contact. So, number 1. Yeah. So, here we go, number 1. Strike with number 1. All right, so this one missed. Otherwise, why wouldn't I have already hit you? Right, so it's coming back into this direction here. So we've got hands or arms in here, right? Or we've got the side of the head that's available to us. And a little bit lower, we might have the rib cage that we can hit in there as well. Okay, so We've missed with 1, and so we're hitting with 2. Number 1 was in this direction here. Number 2, missed again, right? So it's coming back this way. And it's exactly the same thing, but it's coming in on this direction here. Right, so we're coming in number 3. Lots of fun things to do. If he's blocking, there's his wrist. Okay, boom. Okay, so 1, I missed with 1, I missed with 2, I missed with 3. Okay, so number 4 is going to come down at a diagonal in this way. So we're going through there. Okay, so bang. Again, your target's going to be this side of the head or collarbone kind of area. If you had somebody hard with a torch on their shoulder, it's going to hurt them. So. If you haven't hit anybody by 4, go. You're pretty unco. So I'll bring you back into here. All right. So, I missed this one, this one, this one, this one. And number 5, we're going in for a thrust in here in this position. So we're going in for the body kind of to get this connection in here. Okay. Remember, you don't actually have to obviously strike in the sequence. If my hand happens to be here, well, there's my strike that I'm going to do in this position, or my hand happens to be low, well, there's my thrust in this position. But we want to try and keep the movements the same between using a knife, using a torch, using a magazine, using a pool noodle, depending on what you've got laying around, that you're using to try and hit the other person. If you start changing the way you do it, it becomes more difficult for you to learn the same kind of attacks. Okay, so staying in this position, even if it's not a torch, even if it's a pull cue, right, in this position, we still want to start this way just in case it is a flashlight that we're using for the next particular situation, right? So we're still going in here, boom, in this way. This is just a torch because we can use the light as well to try and distract them and blind them a little bit if it's at nighttime. Okay, so that's number 5, boom. All right, we're going in there with number 5. Cool, have a go. There's another couple of, or at least one other really good reason why we're holding the weapon like this. And that's about a retention aspect. So if my hand is in this shape, it's probably familiar for a lot of you guys. If he wants to grab this, he's going to grab it with one hand or the other. I'm always going to have an advantage at this point here. Okay? He's unlikely to twisty grab underneath here. So if it's a cross grab like this, I have an advantage, right? If he grabs with the other hand, I have an advantage. Okay, and you've done this with all of your Aikido practice before. You know that if somebody grabs your wrist in this way, you've got quite a good advantage here to be able to do any of your Aikido techniques from this position over here. Okay, he's serving this up for me over here. I can use this shape in here and I can attack in this direction, I can attack in this direction, or I can break this free and I can strike in this way. Compared to there, I have less of an advantage. Okay? Yes, I can still do things, but compared to this position here, he's much stronger and he's able to do a lot more against my weapon hand. Okay? I still have obviously a spare hand available, but this here is weaker in my defenses against it than this. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is one person has the magazine. You have to have tension because you must be some tension for you to hold this. If I'm just completely relaxed like this, I'm going to lose my magazine. Here it is here. Okay, and I want you to come up with your response against this. If you can't think of anything else, just come over the top of it, free it from here, and give them a little hit. Okay, come up with something that you have in your bag of tricks based on that shape. Okay.